I'm not angry.
Oh, the 3-cone drill. I remember those days.
Those were the days. You know, I was just I was talking with David, and up on the TV David's got in the studio, they were talking about, Mahomes and Burrow, and it's just expanding on football today. Because it is amazing once the media makes this choice that they're not going to criticize somebody. It's amazing when you watch it. Like, there was a stat they put up on the screen about how bad Joe Burrow was under pressure yesterday. Throwing the football with pressure. And a side-by-side with Mahomes, who thrived on one leg. And down 3 of his top receivers. All who one by one, much like your quarterbacks, went down yesterday. And it's like, why can nobody just criticize Joe Burrow?
You feel good about yourself?
Listen, man, you
feel good about yourself?
No.
Okay.
But I don't feel bad either.
I know.
I just
because Burrow he's that new guy. He's face. He's cool. He's Joe Cool. They're giving him nicknames.
He can be all that. But how is it that a guy like LeBron James, who's the greatest arguably ever, or 1A to Jordan, has faced immense criticism in his career, and yet Joe Burrow is somehow above that? Just say he got outplayed badly yesterday. Just say he didn't come through in the clutch. Just say they only scored 20 points. He did a terrible job against pressure.
Because LeBron came with high expectations when he came into the league. So that means people already hate you because they've heard too much about you.
Burrow went number 1.
Somebody goes number 1 every year, Mike.
I've heard that.
But you like my Tony Romo? Somebody goes number 1 every year, Mike.
I'm going to tell you something. You don't think he could get worse every week? He does.
But
he has got to go.
LeBron was called the chosen one in high school. You don't get that for Burrow. Like, he's getting to that status, and it may come a time where all of a sudden we start hating him.
Yeah.
But he's still in that endearing stage where you look at him, good-looking young man out there dressing with swag.
Oh, I love him.
All he does is win. So you're like, okay, I like him. Whereas LeBron he's the chosen one. He's going to be the next big thing.
No, I love him. But, Rico, that's a bad loss for Burrow.
It is.
If I told you were going to get to play the AFC title game with Mahomes on one leg, and in the game he would lose Juju Smith-Schuster, he would lose Kadarius Toney, he would lose MVS for portions of it, he would lose everything he had, and his 2 receivers were Sky Moore, who doesn't really play and is a rookie, and some guy named Bobby Kemp. Rico, that's a bad loss for Burrow.
Isn't that the kid from Western Michigan?
That's Sky Moore.
Yeah. That's what I was like, okay, yeah.
So I'm just making a point. Like, I love Burrow, but I can still say that's a bad loss for him. And in the reverse, I don't like Mahomes.
No.
I respect him infinitely. I don't like Mahomes because I can't stand his entourage and the people around him and the nonsense. It's ridiculous.
It was a bad loss, but I also think it was the fact that it was probably one of the few competitive games that we got in the playoffs. All the other games really weren't that great.
I'm thinking about it. You're not wrong.
So
you are not. I mean, Dallas blew out Tampa Bay. The Giants got absolutely run in Philly.
The other one would be the Jags comeback against the Chargers.
But it was a comeback. It was a blowout.
Correct.
And then the pendulum swung. So a lot of people didn't even see it because it was so bad early that, you know what, I can go do something because I don't need to watch this. Yep. You guys handled Minnesota. It was, you know what, I'm not saying nice things about you.
I was going to say, take it back.
No.
But no, like, do you think this was the other thing? Like, the way that we view athletes now, 20 years ago, I would love Mahomes. Love him. Because I wouldn't know about all the other stuff. I wouldn't see articles about his wife acting a fool or his brother acting a fool or his dad acting a fool. They didn't exist. There was no platforming of these people. But now, like, we went through it with Stafford's wife. I mean, Stafford's wife's in the New York Post. She's in the Chicago Sun-Times. Diddly-do, and you can't escape it. Now, Mahomes yesterday, that was as good of a performance. I don't know what you want to stack it against, but I mean, Rico, that's a 3 to 6 week injury. He was so gutsy, and then he was without any running game. He was without any help out wide, and he outplayed Burrow. Now, I loved it. It was incredible, but I still don't have to I don't have to like him. He drives me nuts.
But I think that's just he's the new guy that they want to build a lot of stuff around. So,
but just so I know the rules, I'm not allowed to criticize Joe Burrow, right?
No,
like that's heresy now.
No, you can criticize Joe Burrow. You can criticize anybody. Like, honestly, I'm watching Jalen Hurts and like this guy's not right. His throws, his deep throws were not either. He was overthrowing. He was making the San Francisco corners, the two wards, look great, and I know they're not, but they're knocking down passes left and right. Like, yeah, he can't get the lift on his throws, or he's just overshooting his guys.
Well, listen, I've said to you for weeks now, I think this is a structural collarbone-based injury. That ain't just some sprain.
No, but there's only
David. You look disgusted.
There's really only. I was about to say there's really only one villain.
Look at him. It's the villain's right there. What the hell are you shaking your head for?
Oh, David is the villain here. You should have heard what he just said behind the glass here.
What did I do wrong? I criticized Burrow, so I'm out.
No, you didn't do anything wrong. I just saw a ticket text, and I agree with it, okay?
Let me hear it.
You brought up Mahomes. It says, tell Mahomes the cameras are off him now. He can stop exaggerating his limping. Good Lord, it was the Michael Jordan flu game all over again. I agree with this texter. He was hurt, but I think he exaggerated things a little bit. He knew the camera was on him. Oh, let me limp a little
David,
bit.
I think it was just one of those where he had learned to play.
Yep.
No. He learned to play through the pain, and then when he did the jump pass and landed on that foot, and then he probably midway in the air, he was thinking,
let me exaggerate this when I come down and limp a little.
That's going to hurt when I land.
But do you see the difference right here? This is what kills me. So he's allowed to say that. Nobody flinches.
Right.
But the minute you go, geez, bad day for Burrow. Oh, my God. It's
so
like,
cool. You can't. Yeah.
It's blasphemous.
You know why? Because he's black. That's why.
David, how about some tickets?
I don't even know if I can say anything.
Because I'm not going anywhere near that.
Is it fair to say that Joe Burrow could have played better, but it wasn't? What does it say? Is it fair to say that Joe Burrow couldn't have played better because he was getting sacked and running for his life the entire game?
No, because Mahomes was under more pressure than Burrow was, side by side. And Mahomes thrived. Burrow tanked. I think Burrow under pressure was 2 for 9, threw a pick. You know what? No.
Someone says Joe Burrow took the Cincinnati Bengals to the Super Bowl and conference championship. I'm not surprised. He's a media darling.
Yeah, but again, he's wonderful. That's guys. If you want to be the best quarterback in football, like think about I don't know, Rico, like Steph Curry, right? Mm-hmm. If I tell you that Golden State's going to play a team in the finals who's down their top 2 players and they lose it, guess what? That's a terrible job by Steph and company. You just say it. They're still amazing. He's still amazing. But Burrow yesterday, that was not good enough. No. 20 points is not acceptable.
But he's just likable. And
I love him.
No. And because of that, it's hard to say bad things about people that you like.
But the numbers say it.
But you still like the person, and you're just like, all man, right. But look at the swag, and look at the leadership, and he's Joe Cool. You know, and it's not, he didn't throw the pick to lose the game. It's not like, on the final drive, he gets picked off in the end zone.
Well, his final drive before the drive, he threw one.
Fourth quarter.
I understand, but we're talking about his teammate pushing Mahomes out of while he was out of bounds. We're not talking about him. I got to
tell you something. I hated his teammate screaming at the guy. You know what kills me?
Pratt yelling.
It wasn't an egregious personal foul.
No,
it's the heat of the moment.
It's not even the heat of the moment. I was okay with that because I've seen quarterbacks who, especially mobile QBs, now you forget that Mahomes is hobbled, whether David wants to believe it or not, but they go running towards the sideline and you're thinking they're just going to run out of bounds, and they don't. And then they keep running because you're afraid. Case in point, last week, Dak Prescott is in the end zone. I forgot which Niner had him dead to right for a safety and was thinking to himself,
he bounced right off of him.
I don't want to get a roughing the passer call.
I believe it was Eric Armstead.
And you just let him go. I think players are so
conditioned.
Yeah, conditioned that quarterbacks are going to do that. But he's running towards the sideline. I probably would have, too, to make sure he is out of bounds.
I just hated his teammate barking at him. Really? This is what we're doing?
Yeah, that was a horrible look. That why are you pushing him out of bounds? Really?
Right.
You lost the game for us. Okay, we're doing this.
Here's an idea. How about somebody yells at the offense? Maybe you want to score more than 20 points against Patrick Mahomes.